From thrifted to gifted, I have some new puzzles that have been added to my collection. So let's take a look and see what I picked up. Hi, I'm Sandra the Puzzling Canadian and welcome to my channel. Well, recently, over the last week, I have acquired some more puzzles. I know I have been trying very hard to not get a lot of puzzles, but with my speed puzzling practice, I find myself constantly looking for puzzles that are 500 pieces. So the majority of the ones that I have acquired are for speed puzzling practice. But I like the fact that I was able to get all these puzzles from all different sources. So some were thrifted, some were traded, some were purchased, and even one was gifted to me. So now I'd like to share with you what I have added to my collection. So first up is a puzzle that was gifted to me, and the puzzle that I received was this one here, a Ravensburger puzzle called Church Lane 1000 Pieces. So many of you who saw my video recently, just last week, this puzzle was used in the speed competition, the Canadian Championship, and it was part of the teams qualifying round. I think it was teams round A. It was given to me by my friend Ula. She was part of a team with Donna Louise that was working on this puzzle. And so once it was done, I was chatting with her and she offered the puzzle to me. I think after speed puzzling this one, they didn't want to see a landscape again. And I have been working on this. I've been sorting the pieces. I just started recently. I haven't actually started anything yet, but just sorting. And I'm looking at these pieces and I was thinking, man, every team that worked on this, kudos to them, because this is not an easy image to speed puzzle. So she offered it to me and I graciously accepted. So thank you, Ula, for offering this puzzle to me. She knows that I like landscapes, and especially this is a Dominic Davison puzzle. I've done many of his puzzles. Not for speed puzzling, definitely not speed puzzling. I will do this casually at my own pace, but I do puzzles that have a lot of florals and greenery and a nice little sky. They are not easy to do, not easy to speed puzzle, but doing casually, they are enjoyable. So thank you so much. So the next few puzzles that I have are puzzles that I traded. Now, recently, I have not been doing too many trades, but I will do trades if they are for 500-piece puzzles because I need more of those, especially Ravensburger ones, so that I can practice my speed puzzling. So my friend Sophie came to the competition in Georgetown, and we decided to do some trades. So these were the ones that I ended up picking up from her. So the first one here is this one here called Lions in the Savannah. So this image here is not an image that I would normally do. However, I do need to practice fur, and I thought that this would be a good image. It's not going to be easy. However, I just need to practice a lot of puzzles that have fur because those are very hard for me to do. So this was one of them that I picked up from her. And then I also traded for this one. This one here is called Puffinry. It is a puzzle developed for the UK, very colorful. I think they have another one in this series, maybe. I think it's with ducks, but I like this one because it has a lot of color. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. And then I picked up this one here, Vintage Travel Guides. I have the one that's, I think, Vintage Library Books, but this one here, Travel Guides, I've been trying to get. It's very colorful. Again, another one developed for the UK, and I believe it's an Amy Stewart puzzle. So I ended up getting those three from Sophie. So thank you so much, Sophie, for trading those puzzles with me. So just this past weekend, it was Mother's Day, and Puzzles Canada had a 20% off sale for that weekend, and I decided to treat myself and pick up some puzzles. Again, I was only focusing on 500-piece puzzles that would help me with my speed puzzling. So first up, I did pick up a 300-piece puzzle. So these little small ones here, I have several of them, and they're good for practicing, getting used to flipping over pieces and doing smaller piece count images. So I like working on these every once in a while just to practice my flipping pieces and organizing them. This one here is called Highland Cattle. And again, I selected this one because of the fur. Not an image I would normally pick, but I need to practice first, so I thought this one would work for me. Again, another one that I picked out because it had fur is this one here. And this one is called Sloth Selfie. So yeah, it's very cute. And I figure with the green and the fur, I can practice those. This one's 500 pieces. And then I picked out a mango puzzle. So this one is a beach scene. I selected this one because I wanted to try this new brand. So they have a few of these at Puzzles Canada. This is the one that I picked out, and I think it is called, let me see. Ooh, I can't find it. I don't know what this one is called. Oh, it says End of Summer. So this one's called End of Summer. Another brand that I wanted to try out, and they now have some 500-piece puzzles, is Villager Puzzles. So I ended up getting this one, and this one is called, oh, what is it called? Rocky's Explorer. 500 pieces, a lot of color, a nice image. So I wanted to try out this brand. And then the next two puzzles are Educa puzzles. Again, I've said before, I don't do many Educa puzzles because sometimes they're loose, but I have to say their images are nice. And there were some new ones on Puzzles Canada, and I'm like, you know, I need to try a few more. I picked up this one, and I picked up this one here because I like the color. It's the purples, the blues, and one splash of yellow. I suspect that this will not be easy, but I was just automatically drawn to this. And this one here is called, I don't even know what this one's called. This one is called, oh, Butta Bloom. That's what this one is called. So a nice spring puzzle from Educa. And then I picked out this one here. Let me find the name of this one here first. Let's see. This one is called Hidden Harbor. So I've seen this one around. I think they also have this one in Ravensburger, but I picked it out. It was Educa, and it looks really pretty. 500 pieces. So those are the puzzles that I ended up selecting from Puzzles Canada. Next up are some items that I picked up at a thrift store. So occasionally when I'm out and about doing my errands, if I'm in the neighborhood where there's a thrift store, I might stop in if I have time to see what they have available. That's what I did last week, and I'm very grateful that I did because they had a lot of nice puzzles. So I picked up a few things. One thing that I picked up was this here. These stacking trays, this is from Eurographics. I saw at the competition several teams use these stacking trays, and I don't have any. I use usually boards to organize my pieces, but I thought it would be nice to add this to my collection because it does help in the sorting process. So I've started using it, and so far I like it. This box here was brand new when I pulled it off the shelf. It was still in its wrap, and I think it was something like $5.99. And this usually costs, I think, somewhere in the $25 range or more, brand new. So I ended up getting brand new trays for $5.99. It actually was a little less because I had a 20% off coupon. Then I ended up finding some Ravensburger puzzles. So I was really happy with the selection that they had. They had this 300-piece one. These are large piece ones, and this one's called Knitting Notions. So again, I thought it would be good for practicing my speed puzzling. And then I ended up finding this one, and I picked this one up because I met the artist. It is a puzzle from Nathaniel Mortensen, and it's this one here called Magical Potions. I met him at the Georgetown competition. I had two of his puzzles. This one I didn't have yet, and I went to the store and there it was on the shelf, so I had to have it. Hopefully all the pieces are in this one. Then I found this 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle, and this one is called Colorful Ribbons. So I thought this would be a good image to practice my speed puzzling because it had different colors, and I didn't think it was so bad. I've already done this puzzle. So as I was doing it, I began with the border, and then I was sorting a little bit when I was doing it. I was able to sort the pinks and the greens. It's pretty easy to sort because of the different colors. However, I thought this was going to be a little bit easier, but it was not. Because of the patterns that are on the ribbons, it was tricky. It took me much longer than I anticipated. So you had ribbon that was pink, but it had lines, pink that had dots, and your eyes are just all over the place trying to process them. But I ended up getting it done. I did like it. At the end, I did like the image, but clearly I need to practice more of these. Then I ended up finding this puzzle. It's a buffalo one, 300 pieces, called Mandela Stones. Now, I was watching the US Championship and they did a puzzle similar to this, obviously in 1,000 pieces. I have never done an image like this. So when I saw this at the store, at the thrift store, I thought I wanted to give it a try, and it's perfect because it was only 300 pieces. It's a very pretty image. I liked the stones that are here. But again, just like the ribbons, I worked on this and it took me much longer than I thought. So it looks like it's easy because there's so many different colors, but it is not, because a lot of the patterns were similar, especially like you had this blue and you had this blue here. And then you had this yellow one and this yellow one here. You really have to look at the pattern on the pieces. And so that's what I found with these two puzzles that I've recently done, is that ones that are very colorful but have patterns, various patterns, are trickier than they appear to be. So clearly what I've learned from that is I need to practice more of those type of puzzles because they take me a little bit longer. So that is what I picked up and have added to my collection. Again, when I'm getting new puzzles for my collection, they're mostly for the intent of practicing speed puzzling. I have a lot of other 1,000 piece puzzles, so normally now I'm just trying to acquire 500 piece puzzles and working on what I have. But maybe you have some of these puzzles in your collection, or if you've completed them, please let me know your experience, if you like them, which ones you found difficult, which images you like. You can leave that information in the comment section. Thank you for stopping by and taking the time to view this video. I hope you've enjoyed this puzzle haul. If you have, please tap that like button. I'll now need to get all these puzzles organized and on my shelf, or hopefully on my puzzle table, so I can start working on them. So until next time, happy puzzling.